So, Gecko is in Darwin.
Darwin is the capital city of the Northern Territory of Australia, with nearly 53% of the Northern Territory's population. Darwin's our last stop in Australia before we head over to Indonesia. Gek is anchored out in Fanny Bay, which is about a 15-minute bike ride from the city centre, and probably a 15-minute dinghy ride from shore, because Darwin has insanely huge tides. We saw about 6 or 7 meters on the full moon, and it's a relatively shallow anchorage, so the only boats that can get close to the beach are the catamarans, and those ones go high and dry at the very low tides.
Darwin is the place where we're going to install the Rolly Tasker head sail, which involves replacing the forestay, putting in the drum, and one of the side things that has to do with that is that I need to get Gecko set up for having the furling line led back to the cockpit. When I bought Gecko, she had furling, and the furling drum needed to be replaced, and I couldn't afford it, so I switched to hang-on sails because the sail needed to be replaced too, and it was just the cheaper option. To see the full episode of the roller furling install, click on the little square here or here, somewhere here, maybe it's here, maybe it's right here. Between preparations for Indonesia, provision runs, boat projects, and some hardcore touristing, Dan and I ended up being anchored in Darwin for a bit over a month.
My only complaint about that time in the anchorage was all of the charter party boats that did laps around our boat at sunset, but hey, you can't get everything.
While we were there, we were lucky enough to witness NT, or Northern Territories Day, which was one of the more insane experiences I've had in Australia.
So, in Darwin, they have a section where anyone can set off their own fireworks, and it's chaos. There's fireworks going off sideways and almost hitting people and then running away. But it's just the whole beach. This is for hours, starting before sunset. It's now 7:30.
Oh, he's down. This guy, I hit him and he fell over.
That's one thrown into the crowd there.
Oh! Yeah. Oh, it went sideways. Oh, it's over there.
It's savage. They throw it in,
yeah,
sideways, then it blows. It's one of the most brutal shit ever. They just put them in the fire?
I think so. Whoa!
Yeah. Because they don't know what direction it's going to go from the fire.
After standing behind the safety line for a bit, we decided to take a stroll through the battlefield itself. Fireworks were exploding in 360 degrees around us, and the thrill of potentially being hit by one got the old heart rate going. But this was just the precursor to the official fireworks display that the city put on. Over the course of the day, a huge number of people anchored their boats up by a sandbar just off the beach to watch the fireworks from their boats. Ironically, we found it way more desirable to watch the fireworks from land. I guess a lot of life's jollies come from doing things we're not accustomed to. After a fully immersive experience watching the giant fireworks reflected in the water just covering a thin layer of beach, we headed back to Grub for the safety of the dark anchorage.
No. Darwin is also home to some famous crocodile rivers and the tours that go along with them. They take you out onto the rivers on these boats, right alongside the behemoths as they tempt them from the muddy waters with raw chicken on a stick. Our tour included pickup in the Croc bus for the long ride away from the coast and up towards the interior of the river. All right, we're on the Croc bus, going to see some jumping crocodiles here in Darwin. Probably one of the most touristy things Dan and I have ever done together.
I mean, it's just not something I want to do myself. There's
No.
lots of touristy things I'd like to figure
How
out.
can you say no to the opportunity to sit in a tiny boat while 6-meter crocs jump out of the water and eat chickens on a stick, and you don't have to be the one holding the stick?
Once on board, the guides warned us not to grab the railings of the boat because any body part that was outside the not very safe safety net of the metal railings was potential croc fodder. The guide then proceeded to hand feed one of the crocodiles a piece of chicken. Classic Australians.
So the only rule, he said, is to stay on the boat. It's pretty much the only rule on my boat too.
Don't fall off.
Unless you're on angry. Look how tiny it is.
Yeah, these things are all good. We fill up the back.
Up a spot here.
How you folks? My name's
Some of his
Dylan.
voice.
Yeah, safety is number one out here, okay? Obviously, we're not dealing with koalas or platypus today, are we, guys? So obviously, safety, 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 all right? So what we're just gonna do, guys, we'll work our way out to the middle of the river. By law, folks, I've got to give you a bit of a safety brief, okay? I know you've heard a bit from Dad, but a bit from my brother there too. I'll make it pretty brief, and we'll go find some monsters after that, hey? Be in for a go. I don't care, guys. They seriously go for anything. Fingertips, camera lens, tip of your hat, especially red hats, good hats. There you go. Just trying to make sure, guys, okay? Now, also, just by law, folks, for some reason, I've got to let you all know that we are fitted with our life jackets, just above you here in the middle. So if you want to, oh, wait.
Hi.
See ya. And also, if you do want it, you can stand on the seats, guys. I don't mind if you want to do that, yeah?
There he is. You
Watch
see him?
that hand, mate. Front. Yeah, mate. Yeah, don't touch those rails. Doesn't take long. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Very concerned, I think. Not hungry. Yeah, she might be a vegan. Might explain it up. Yeah, no word of a lie, I do like those type of gals.
So much meat for such a big guy, is it?
There, you just hit him the orange.
Yes. Hello, Brutus.
Straight at you.
Yeah, he's super.
He's a gummy boy. Oh.
What happened to his teeth?
Wow. He's pretty old and they don't have infinite teeth. So most of them are going to run out of their teeth, get too old, get too slow and starve to death at about 100. That's what we reckon he is, guys. About 100 years old.
Natural
okay?
cycle.
So come on, guys, give him a bit of credit, eh?
Yeah, well done.
Bravo, Brutus.
So we say he's 100, but yeah, I wasn't invited to his birthday.
You never
so
asked him.
give him credit there. But we reckon about 100, just going by teeth count. Could be 110 though, I don't know. Could be 90.
That's crazy, isn't it? He's got one left, so maybe he might be.
And a couple, maybe 10 left. But they have 66 teeth on average. And 44 replacements for every single tooth, guys. Okay, so we go through about 13 to 1400 teeth.
So many teeth.
But it ain't infinite, so you're gonna run out at some point, guys. Sadly, it's what happens to a croc. If another croc doesn't kill you, usually this is how you die. Starvation. What's the breath smell?
Not wonderful. I'm gonna be honest.
Seriously, doesn't it?
Little bit, little bit.
And have a listen to this too, guys. Might spin you out. Right? Hard to be thought, man. Good boy. Double chin and everything. Well, it happens with a lot of our crocs, just saying, most of them are missing limbs. Usually it's from a crocodile that death roll your limb off, you know what I mean? However, we don't believe it to have been a croc that ripped his arm off. hard to show you the wound pattern. When you look at it, we know for a fact no croc can make a wound like that. When a croc does, yeah, they death roll, rip the limb straight out, residual flesh, bit of bone, incredibly messy looking wound, you know. That looks like a knife went straight through his arm. The cleanest cut you'll ever see, guys, okay? Just to say, what do you guys reckon? Crocs are the only things in the river that can get you guys. There's other monsters in here too. Seriously, guys. Welcome to the Adelaide River. We are also infested with bull sharks. Lovely. Croc doesn't get you the shark, eh? There you go. I'm trying to get a jump for you guys. Give me a silent. Oh, I've got a jump for you. Come on, big boy. Staring contest. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Try him one more time at the front here, guys. See if we can. We go here one more time. Pretty hard to get a photo of. Pretty both sides there, guys.
They knew you were coming.
Yeah, a few of them do. No idea. Right, one time. Not was leading. You're right.
He's coming for you.
One more jump. Alright. Here you go, ready?
Oh, jump.
Miss!
Oh, there's a hole in the side of the...
Did he get it?
By taking
actually
water.
that's surprising.
Very nice for himself.
Behind us, okay? There was a construction worker who actually ended up falling in when they were making the bridge. No boat ramp back then either, guys, so all the construction workers didn't know what to do. They just yelled out, "Hey mate, stay still, we'll come get ya." And they couldn't believe it, guys. 2 hours later, they got a boat out there. They drove about 10k further downstream, and they found him still alive, clinging to a log. Couldn't believe it, guys. Man was in shock, as you would be, but when he came to, he reckons about, I don't know, 8-10 crocodiles came over, poked them with their nose. They did not eat him, guys, okay? Just saying, the crocs were curious enough to check him out, but they didn't know if he was food or not, guys. So, I don't know, each for their own, guys, do what you wish. I recommend you don't move. Of course, if you fall in front of someone, some crocodile, yeah, that's pretty much game over, ain't it? They're gonna know your food. But hey, guys, just outswim the other person. Give me your eye.
Ooh, there it is.
We got a couple minutes here left.
Next to each other, eh? Hello.
Punch on here. Dominator wants to. You both know.
Oh, one gigabit.
Most aggressive croc we know of, guys. He's an absolute maniac, this one.
What's in it?
Dominator.
Oh, she's not denominator. He has teeth too.
Yeah.
Proper. Look at it.
Oh, well done.
The size of that motherfucker.
Thank you,
Jesus. Yeah. Back scritches. So some back scritches. Massive, eh?
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, look at it, you guys. Crash the other syllable this one. Well, one last chicken at the back, right, you guys? One last gotta get you back.
We ended up taking Gek to the marina for 2 days to troubleshoot some issues we were having with the roller furler. The marina was conveniently located a nice walk from a strip of waterfront bars and restaurants. And on our first night out, we took a stroll, had a beer, and ended up seeing a live musician who really intrigued us.
One man can say, there's an angel at my window. As I pack my bag again, he's standing in the doorway. This time it is the end. So whisper me a melody, and I will never feel alone. Let journey on as that I just comes on the lights that guide me home. On the lights that guide me home.
Oh, you see this week?
Yes. His name is Adam. He's an expat from England, but he's made Australia his home. And he sang original songs on guitar and digereedoo, which captivated us. We've never really heard much digereedoo performed live before that. His name is Adam Scriven, and I've put a link in the description below to his Spotify account. You can probably also find him on Apple Music, I'm sure. Whatever you use, but he's definitely worth giving a look-see to. We ended up becoming friends with him. Onward with the show. These are my editing glasses. They're for blue light. Goodbye. We made friends with him, stayed up late into the night drinking beers, and invited him over to Gek a couple days later for some food and a jam session.
Okay, reassuring news. Yesterday, Holly and I absolutely frothed on this calamari because we couldn't get past how good it was and the shape of it. And then Adam here.
He's been calamari in Darwin.
He's been loving it. He's been loving it. So it's not just us, it is just good. So that's super exciting.
That is
Absolutely hates.
right, I think maybe one was enough. I was thinking it was going to be.
Oh, that one belongs to that one. We'll just turn it around.
It's a dark video anyway, it's just funny. It's just like, guys, you can come here as much as you want.
No ice cream. We've got plenty of ice.
Got ice for days.
So Dan went to get some ice for our scotch, and we got
Have we got enough scotch stuff?
a reusable bag.
I don't even
full
like ice in my scotch.
of
So is
ice.
your preference yay or no?
I'll have 1 cube of ice.
A singular cube of ice.
Singular.
What a fella.
There's a singular.
Okay, circular breathing. To play the didgeridoo, you require the skill of circular breathing. So Adam here is the guy that the only reason we stopped in the bar is because Adam was playing some fantastic music. We stepped in. It turns out he had didgeridoos. He plays them like an absolute champ, and he's going to do a little demonstration of how to circular breathe, which I won't even bother trying to fake describe because the man knows what he does, and I'll let him describe it. Oh. Can you tell us what circular breathing is before you do it? Because I don't want to bastardize the description of it. And it's just weird to put the camera in your face.
Well, you can see
circular breathing is what?
So circular breathing. So the way I like to describe it is that the circular breathing is confusing. So it's not really circular. What's happening is that we're using our cheeks and our tongue to force air out of our mouths while we're breathing in through our nose at the same time. So what we're doing is separately, we're doing 2 separate things. So I'm using my mouth and like when I'm spitting water out my mouth. Using my tongue and my cheeks. I'm not like breathing out. Just using my mouth here. That kind of thing. And then I'm breathing in. The other thing I'm doing is breathing in through my nose, always through my nose, because that's when you always breathe in through your nose, by pumping out my belly and to draw down my diaphragm to create a vacuum to suck air in. So you've got these 2 things, one's and the other one's. And then what you do is you do it at the same time, which sounds like this. So you can practice and then try and do it together. And once you can do that, you should be able to do that.
So cool.
And then so when you start to play, you normally play and you breathe in, always breathing through your nose. And then where there's the gap, you start to make the gap smaller and smaller and smaller, so it starts to sound like.
What an incredible display.
So cool.
This here is Adam Scriven, and we'll post some links to his magical music.
If you thought that was impressive, just you wait. We had some leftover foils from installing the roller furling system lying around. So the foils are the aluminum pieces that you put over your forestay when you're installing roller furling. So every roller furling, you have your regular forestay, and then you have these about 2 meter long pieces of aluminum that you slide up and they click together. In the case of the Harkin system, it's flat on one end and curved on the other end, and on the flat end it has the track running up it, and that's where you pull your sail up the track, and then the aluminum is connected to the drum and you turn it around, and that's what furls the sail. So we had one of those 2 meter pieces sitting on the boat, and Dan grabbed it and asked Adam if he could didgeridoo that. So didgeridoo, probably about this big around, solid, thick, heavy piece of wood. This foil was very small, very thin, with lots of holes in it where you would put the screws to attach it together, which makes it harder because holes not normally found on a didgeridoo. But Adam rose to the challenge, and it was very impressive.
Nah, it's not looking at
Hashtag Harkin furling drum. Ooh. He's didgeridooing the Harkin. Get the length of the shaft, love. Wow.
Yep.
That is so cool.
You didgeridoo the Harkin. So we just got sponsored this. It's for the whole thing we just put on.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Thanks for watching this week's video of Darwin. I put out new videos on YouTube every 2 weeks, and for my patrons, you guys get a snack on the weeks that I don't put out a full-length YouTube episode. Thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me and making this trip possible. If you'd like to become a patron, my Patreon is patreon.com/windhippie. For one-time donations, I have a PayPal, paypal.me/windhippie, and merchandise, all in the links below. Thank you to everyone who helped us out and hooked us up in Darwin. We met some pretty spectacular people there and definitely had some crazy times that we're not going to forget anytime soon. Thank you guys all for your lovely comments, and I think that's it. Another one down the drain. And I have some more Darwin episodes coming up. It was really a cool place full of a lot of cool people, so stay tuned for that. And also the process of getting ready to get into Indonesia, which is our next big passage.